The Republican-led Oklahoma State House refuses to allow the Oklahoma Personhood bill out of committee. I'm Matt Barber, Vice President of Liberty Counsel Action. Joining me in studio is Shawn Akers, Vice President of Middle Eastern Affairs with Liberty Counsel. Shawn, Reuters reports a proposed personhood law in Oklahoma that would have granted the full personhood rights and would have simply codified the reality that individuals are persons from the moment of conception, failed in the Republican-led state legislature without coming to a full vote in the House of Representatives, and the bill had passed the Senate, the Oklahoma State Senate, by a vote of 34-8. The governor had pledged to sign it, but it sounds like a number of so-called conservatives in the Republican State House got cold feet and decided they didn't want this going for a full vote because it was going to pass. I guess they did not want the state of Oklahoma and the state house and the legislature to be in the crosshairs of the radical national pro-abortion agenda, didn't have the courage of their convictions, and really these legislators have shamed themselves and in the state of Oklahoma.
You know, Matt, I see the article. I've read the article, but I honestly do not know what's going on here because when the vote in the state Senate was 34-8 in favor of this bill, and Republicans control both the House and the Senate in Oklahoma. Why they would table this bill, why they would trap it and not let it out for a vote is beyond any understanding that I have.
In the state of Oklahoma.
In the state of Oklahoma. Yeah. Now, and it does show, I mean, from a practical standpoint, we're always educating our listeners on the way that policy is made, Matt, and this is one of those instances that shows you can be on the right side of a subject, you can have all the necessary votes on the subject, you can have popular support for the subject, and you can still have just a few people who want to control things and derail the entire thing. This was a bill that would have recognized, and not granted, mind you. These things don't grant personhood, but they would have recognized the personhood of the unborn. With this kind of support, I look forward to hearing the explanations from those who tabled it.
Well, and I have a feeling that there may be some legislators in the state of Oklahoma that are going to be out of a job. In the state of Oklahoma, where I lived as a young boy, one of the most conservative Christian states in the nation, the good folk there in Oklahoma take the issue of life and the sanctity of innocent human life very serious. And when multi-billion-dollar special interests like Planned Parenthood, outside special interests, the ACLU and others come in and have success in intimidating, or we don't know what went on behind the doors, whether some people might have had their palms greased, some campaign promises to fund campaigns and so forth. We know that that's how Planned Parenthood and others work. They simply will buy people off. We don't know to what degree intimidation or bribery played a part in this. But the reality is that by showing in a cowardly way that they are not willing to take a stand and do the right thing, those individuals who did not allow this to move forward and represent the will of the people overwhelmingly in the state of Oklahoma to defend innocent human life, I think that they're going to have a major price to pay.
You know, I don't know what how the precincts line up there. I don't know what the interests are of the people. I don't even know who the individuals were that blocked it. But I can tell you, Matt, that from a large standpoint, from a Gestalt view, I think they're misreading the tea leaves on this one because even if political self-will or self-protection is what they're after, the fact is the United States is more pro-life now than it's ever been, and the generation that's coming up that's about to be taking these seats of power in the next few years are more pro-life than their predecessors. These guys have definitely taken a move that is against their self-interest in the larger scheme of things. I think you're right. I think the ballot box is definitely going to show that this was a mistake.
Well, a number of reasons yet to be encouraged here, not to be discouraged. First of all, there is still a personhood amendment moving forward on a ballot initiative that where we the people in the state of Oklahoma can vote. It is expected to pass. It's being challenged by the ACLU and various radical pro-abortion organizations right now. It's going through the court. Liberty Counsel is actually defending the Personhood Amendment that's moving forward. I also believe that those legislators who do have the current courage of their convictions in the Senate and in the State House will again bring this back up. It will move forward again. It is a temporary loss, and those who are advocating personhood in the state of Oklahoma will not relent. And thirdly, this again brings to mind William Wilberforce, and how many times did he fail over and over and over again in the British Parliament to have abolition move forward, to have slavery banned, and to defend the personhood of African Americans, or rather black people, Africans, and blacks from all over the world. Well, he failed a number of times. He did not let up, and ultimately he was successful. And that Wilberforce comparison, I've made it a number of times. These legislators who were cowards here, they're on the wrong side of history. The pro-abortion movement, those who euphemistically call themselves pro-choice, they are on the wrong side of history. History will view them no differently than it viewed those who defended slavery. And this stuff lives forever on the internet. If you're taking a stand in favor of abortion, history will reflect that, and you will be considered no differently, I believe, than those who opposed slavery. So this is, I believe, a foregone conclusion. Whereas slavery was eventually abolished here in the United States, abortion is modern-day slavery. It will be abolished here in the United States. And I believe that those who defend and embrace life will prevail.
I think you're right, Matt, and that's a good thing. But the fact is, whether the momentum is with the unborn or against them, those of us who acknowledge that they are God's creations and that life is precious from the moment that God grants it to the moment that it's extinguished. Literally, we don't need to budge one way or the other. That's one of the great. I love the Wilberforce story that you brought up so many times, because he did. In a biblical sense, he made his head like flint. He literally would not move on this. Now, here's the encouraging thing, though, is when history caught up with Wilberforce, his ideas became increasingly popular, and it's not just a linear move. It becomes much more popular, much more quickly.
Yes.
And I think that we're seeing right now the beginning stages of a nation who is ready to repent of having participated in the travesty of abortion, and you're going to see more and more of these amendments come up, just like Wilberforce. The first runs may fail, but eventually it'll hit, and when it does, people will want to distance themselves from ever having been anti-life.
Well, some more good news. Liberty Counsel was at the forefront in defending personhood in the states of Mississippi, in Ohio, under legal assaults and courtroom attacks by the ACLU and Planned Parenthood and NARAL and other pro-death organizations. And we were victorious in those states. I believe that Liberty Counsel will be victorious, and life will be victorious in the state of Oklahoma, and personhood will go to the ballot in that state as well. In the meantime, collateral efforts will continue to have the legislature do the right thing in the state of Oklahoma and elsewhere. These personhood amendments and personhood legislation are coming up in states around the country. It is a growing movement, not a shrinking movement. And really, I think Planned Parenthood and others are just doing the best they can right now to hold back the dam break, which is in fact about to happen. There is a tsunami of support in favor of life in this country. The days of euphemistic language like pro-choice are short-lived. People see the reality that abortion is homicide. It is the taking of innocent human life, and Liberty Counsel is at the forefront in defending life. That's what we do. And we will not waver. We will not back down. We will never compromise. And we encourage you to join us. Go to lc.org or call us 800-671-1776.